Hey, that camera, it's not live streaming us, is it?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Do you want it to?
No. It's just, like last time you said something, it was like 5 viewers or something, so I wasn't sure if it was like an active live, like 5 viewers, and I was like, that feels super uncomfortable.
I can live stream on my phone. I'm sure I could have done that.
There's probably ways, but
I mean, he's done it a few times. The last time that he was at Brian Fay with Troy.
yeah.
Both times I was
And,
fine.
Well, I didn't know what the first
No,
time.
yeah.
But the second time I knew that he live streamed, so I tuned into it in the office, and I just randomly text her and like smile Troy. And you can just see he goes ding,
See, I mean, we're doing okay. Like,
and then he like at the camera, and they were about to hang a sheet on the ceiling. I'm like, make sure you lift with your back in a sharp jerking twisty motion.
our very first post, we had 15 views, then 9 views, then 2 views, then 12, 3, 8, and then yesterday, 4.
Gotcha.
So we do that for a year to 2 years, and then we might have 20 viewers.
Hey, you never know. Sometimes the most random things get blown up.
What we're missing is a nice intro to hook them, and then some fun personality.
And I've got some ideas for like an intro, like, you know, how to design it and stuff like that we could get to throw on there. So having an intro is definitely gonna make a difference. And we're actually trying to find the niches of like, what's worth it? What do we think that people are gonna be interested in?
Yeah.
No Nate today?
Today.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was like, normally he's here before me.
Will you put a note right here? Look right here. I'm gonna do task and just say Nate off.
Yeah. All right. Anybody have questions about their jobs? I know Troy mentioned something.
I have a question, but
Which one?
Scott Senior. I'm just a little confused about what I'm doing because I know they had problems with the texture. And am I going to be fixing some of that?
Yeah. So honestly, my brain, when I put on this note, forgot to mention what we're doing here. I don't think it'll take very long, but bring your pole sander and basically just run over the whole thing. There's just several high points like this. I would just run over the whole thing because there's a decent amount of these like high points, and honestly, in person they don't look as extreme as this makes it look, but there are a couple instances.
So
Obviously.
just knock down those.
Yeah.
It's
I
gonna
would
be messy on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you
Yeah,
bring
I'll
tarp
bring
coverage. They
tarps.
did mention to me also that there were a couple mud blobs left behind, so fellas, we gotta definitely make sure that we're on top of that. I know sometimes it's hard to miss them, and she wasn't even complaining, she wasn't trying to get anybody in trouble. She's just like, I would like to know if I was like from the company, and I was like, absolutely. So let's just make sure we're being extra clean. But yeah, just bring your sanding pole. Honestly, I would just brush over this whole ceiling. It really shouldn't take more than an hour or two. And then Craig, I mentioned to you when I left this one, this is the Scott Senior, that there were several holes behind the washer dryer, but they were,
the baseboard holes.
yeah, but they never mentioned them in the original. And that's what I put in my note too.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure if we were doing that or not, because I know we did several others, but she said, we forgot to tell you about these too, and I was wondering if you guys could help out, but regardless,
I
like,
think I have that all squared away because I don't remember if it was when I talked to you or when I talked to them. Somebody had said something along the lines of that they are taking aback about the texture not matching. They think that it was because those high points. Somebody said because those high points that it didn't look
yeah,
like everything else.
yeah, it was,
Get those high points down, it'll be good.
yeah, but I'm more talking about the baseboard holes.
Right.
So we're filming
okay,
this.
so we are filming them. Okay, yes.
Yeah, I
yeah,
believe
yeah.
I got
That was
this.
a question.
I mean,
for me.
Yeah, that's what we wanted, and that's what I was trying to ask, but I didn't really.
No,
feel
I
like got
think
the
it's,
answer
I think
for
it's good, we're
No,
good.
we're good to do it.
as well.
And it's just a tape coat. It's
Those
a
will
pre-filled tape.
5 minutes.
They're all below the baseboard. They just want it filled.
If you're just doing one coat, you don't have to necessarily 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because the dry time is infinite.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying, like, it'll take me 5 minutes to go
Okay.
and tape them. Like,
Yeah. Obviously, I'd have them move this stuff out of the
Yeah.
way. They said that they would. If it's not done first, tell them at the beginning, and then I would go downstairs, start your sand, and then finish with up here. If it is already out of the way, great. Then you can start wherever the hell you want. It doesn't
Yep.
really matter to me.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems pretty straightforward. And then I guess we do have, for the solo job, have we heard anything about if we are removing this piece or not, Greg? Any update to that?
The note said possibly
Yeah, it
going
said
to.
possibly going to remove the rail from the wall, and we want to prepare little size.
I have not had anything change scope of work since the last time that we had talked. And when they reached out back again after the fire, I asked them, has any of the scope of the work changed? Are we doing anything more? They said no. So the winter rail hasn't been identified, anything from this fire stuff hasn't been identified.
Okay.
So have that heads up that maybe there's something from the fire, or maybe they did change this.
Yeah.
Could also be water
No
damage.
patches or anything, it's just stuff all the way.
Yeah, it's this stuff. I mean,
That's a
it's
good point.
all.
I didn't think about that.
And then down there, and then just little tiny baby, probably anchor holes, if I had to guess. Probably where shelving was.
I could see that back thing coming off because what's sitting on the ground there looks like that was a shelf or a table.
Yeah,
And so then that's the backsplash to that table.
yeah.
So if I had to guess for them, I would say that needs to be removed. So honestly, I would push towards removing it.
Yeah, that would be my guess as well. I would say if they do want you to remove it, maybe let Craig know. But right now it does say bidding at 1.5 man days, but if we get it done in one, then it'll reduce it. So if it doesn't really change the final, it's whatever, but still let Craig know if it is different.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say about this material, if we go to one of the chair rail pictures,
Yes.
And you probably know this better than anybody, but this particular material, I mean, I'm just looking at it and I think I'm right. It's like an epoxy or a plastic, or it's really hard, so it's so long that you're gonna have to break it in half to get it in the van. And I have been, if it's this material, and it breaks really abruptly and it goes, it like shoots off bits. So if you're trying to break it, don't break it this way because it'll beat in your face.
Yeah.
You know, really be
Bad
mindful and kind of like, you know, keep away from it, so you don't get any like spring on your face.
Yeah. Obviously, any other work, of course, that they may include that was not pictured, as soon as you go walk through with the person, let Craig know if there's different stuff. Jace, how's Nat going? Is going all right?
Yeah, it got a bit bigger.
I noticed
yeah, I
that.
heard that.
So, yeah, I did the calculations or whatever. I need 15 5/8 sheets and then like 2.5.
Will you click that picture there?
This one?
So they want that entire wall demoed so that we can put insulation behind it.
Oh, you heard that, I assume? Did we price that where we need to do it? Okay.
I called her twice within 10 minutes with 2 different ads.
Okay.
And then
What are we doing, 15 there? On the walls?
I did that wall, the wall behind, which I think I took a different picture of that earlier.
So when we do
Yeah,
that
that one.
insulation on that wall and the opposite wall, make sure that we get faced with the brown paper on it, because that's considered a vapor barrier, and exterior walls need vapor barriers.
And then I included in that also was the ceiling, which, I mean, they need to put up the rest of that framing, because obviously I can't have a 10-foot gap there.
The dad said, somebody said they would be there this weekend or something to look at it. So we'll,
Yeah, that was.
It sounds like there's a plan in place for getting that framing
Okay.
fixed.
So yeah, I need all that, and then I need like 2.5 of a 1/2 inch to finish off the rest of that like fire tape area, because I took two entire pieces yesterday, and that was not enough.
Oh, was it? Did you get that, the cat area?
No, I was going to, but then like we actually want you to put insulation behind there as well, and like I don't have insulation.
Oh.
Apparently they're insulation crazy apparently. But also, so kind of a funny story, but while we were doing kind of the walkthrough, the mother-in-law kind of was like, yeah, ever since we got this house, we've been finding like a bunch of stuff that the previous owners had like done terribly.
I think that there was an owner before us, or after us, and before these people. I think that the people who bought it after us actually moved pretty quick.
Okay.
Is that because of all the terrible repairs?
Yeah, like she's sort of like kind of like going through like, like these people did terrible, like they did their own stuff and it looks terrible, yada yada. I was like, yeah, there's it's kind of funny, my coworker recognizes as the place he used to live in, and she was just like, oh my gosh. I'm just
She
like,
did that?
yeah, she did that. I was
We
like,
need to get Gavin on this job one day.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
It'd be
with
fun.
all the
You have to.
add-ons,
Like, it's like, it has to happen.
It
I
would be fun.
tried. Gavin didn't seem like he wanted
Well,
to bite.
we're there next week, so let's
Yeah, we'll see.
squeeze Gavin on there sometime. That would be very fun for you, I think.
Yeah.
Let's have him drop by.
actually, I probably need 16 sheets of 5/8 because I didn't include what I need for like the patches as well.
Are you doing
11.
installation today then?
And I need to do the insulation because obviously I need to put that in before I can put up the stuff.
Yeah, are you wanting to do installation stuff today, or you got
I
other
don't.
things you're doing today?
I mean, I'm gonna need to. I don't have that much left over. So, also, dear heaven, that swamp cooler was a pain and a half.
Was there that metal lip?
It wasn't that. It was the fact that it wasn't really connected, and so the moment like I started taking it apart, it started falling down and
The
trying
shaft deal?
to. Yeah, and started trying to take the like there's a attic access like right next to it. Started trying to take that with it.
What'd you do?
Luckily I had like my screw bag and my drill attached to my pants, my hip, yeah. And so I was able to like I was having to like hold it up while trying to like get screws into different places to hold it so that I could just take it out. I have the metal shaft, I have the thing in there. I had to take it.
Oh, the whole tube you took?
I had to take that
Whoa,
entire
that's
thing out.
heavy.
There was no way I could keep it up there.
Huh.
So,
Yeah, those are heavy. I'm
yeah.
always worried about that falling and like chopping in half.
Oh, it was actively falling while I was trying to fix it.
Well, good on you for
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up too. It's good to know like stuff and just different solutions as to how we solve issues, just in case someone else may run into some stuff similar.
Yeah.
Any other questions, concerns, anything? No? Alright, let's go out to that wall and I'm gonna have Tyler come on that third coat.
Work before work.
No, work during work, brother. You're getting paid.
Oh boy.
Today is gonna be a good friggin' day. I'm excited about Brian's house.
Yeah?
I'm gonna bring that paint roller and start painting some ceilings or some walls.
Real good.
Yours is horrible, man.
Oh, it's so bad.
I can't use yours anymore.
There's all-purpose. I got a bucket scoop because I didn't want it.
or does it matter?
It doesn't matter, just use all-purpose. Unless we want it as topping, but quite frankly,
That was nasty.
yeah, both of them are,
you.
neither one of them are
Flies
great,
down.
but you need to add a little bit of water and mix it. And hopefully we can just get it to work. this
Sure,
time.
make it work.
If worst comes to worst, we can make some quick set, I guess, but. So here's something to consider, actually, now that Samson's going up close, I was actually looking at it. This is what I was talking about yesterday, when I said sometimes when you pre-fill with all-purpose, it shrinks. So like, that's why you can see all these little tiny gaps, and if you feel, pretty much every seam, there's that little dip.
Huh. Yeah.
And so, it's important that as we continue to layer, that we're, wiping with the patch, then we're not, like, you're not going across and digging in and making that hump worse.
It's like sanding, you go with it, not against it.
Yes. Tyler sticks his knife up there, obviously to see where mud is needed. Oh yeah, that mud's nice, huh?
Beautiful. Imagine when it shrinks as much with less water. Looks weird.
I've always thought that, but I didn't know.
What's that?
I've always thought that if more water makes it shrink more or
Like
less.
all-purpose does shrink a lot more. Like topping won't really shrink. I think the glue.
The glue has a lot to do with it, you think?
Yeah.
What he just did is one of my favorite things to do. He didn't really care about what it looked like. He was just trying to get a bunch of material on the wall so then he could work with it.
Yeah. One of our other guys that used to work with us was a little bit slower, but part of this problem was I think he thought too much before putting the mud on the wall. He was worried about making it look real nice. Once you put the mud on the wall and you start wiping, things will just come together. Like, you don't really need to think about it all too much. And it doesn't have to look perfect.
Wipe better than that.
What? Did I wipe more?
We gotta do 2 more layers on top of that.
4th and 5th coat.
What
So
are you saying?
yeah,
Wipe it
just
tighter.
just wipe it a little bit tighter.
It's messing me up.
I know. Sorry, I didn't take that out. I honestly didn't know.
That's all purpose. I usually sand it down. The quick set I do it a lot tighter.
And it will shrink at least a little bit. So,
Tighter?
I think that's probably
I think
where
it's
it needs to be.
yeah. So, obviously, this is not our finishing coat. It's mainly still, honestly, trying to fill where things need to be filled. That's what he was doing with his knife at the beginning, is checking where mud was necessary and needed to go. I mean, it's pretty obvious on your very first coat. It's like, it needs a lot more mud. But that's what he was checking. That's why he put on a decent amount to fill it. And sometimes if you look, you can see like little lap marks. Sometimes you can see like little chatter lines, whatnot. Not a big deal. At the beginning of every coat, just do a quick, nice scrape. On occasion, I guess in theory you can sand too, but usually if you leave a coat nice enough, a good scrape is good enough.
No, there isn't this versus like we usually use hot mud.
Oh,
Hot
yeah.
mud, I lose a lot smoother because you can't really sand it.
Yeah,
This would be able to sand smooth.
yeah.
So in between layers, we really, like Gavin was saying, we really want to try not to physically sand. The scrape is where we want to be.
Oh yeah, that's
So
what I mean.
12,
Yeah.
we scrape off the laps, like Gavin was saying,
I
these,
don't think you
these
can really sand
chatters.
hot mud, can you?
You can, it's just
I mean,
not
it's called
Pain in
easy
the
sand.
ass.
Yeah, easy sand is all relative, I guess.
Yeah.
'Cause it's really not that easy to sand. But Ty did a really nice job here. Like I said, like if you freak yourself out with like minor imperfections like this, it's just going to slow you down, especially on like your beginning coats. Like we still have 2 more coats to put on top of this. So with each coat, it's going to get tighter and tighter, nicer and nicer, and by the end, it's going to be a nice flat patch. But so don't freak yourself out if you get random little lap lines, because sometimes the more you play with it, especially depending on the quick set, like if you're using 5 minute as it goes, like you do 1 too many swipes and it just flakes and does all sorts of crappy stuff. It's really frustrating, as we've all noticed with your mud starting to dry. Sometimes that wiping it after it started to dry just does not work too well. So you don't want to play with it too much. But don't freak yourself out with minor imperfections like this, because they're easy just to scrape back. But yeah, all right, let's pull our bands around and get started, because we have, I know I have a decent amount of stuff to unload. I'm sure that we all
Troy,
do.
let's sit down a minute.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and go over that.